Hey guys, welcome to a brand new Almost Didn't Happen podcast because the internet is a beautiful thing and so is Skype. So let's just get down to it. We're going to talk about comics for last week. Last week was, hold on, let me look at a calendar, September
The
9th,
ninth.
9, 2015. Let's start off. You know what? You know who hasn't been on this show for a while? First, who's on this party line? My name is Simon Dowdy. Who else is on here?
We have
Sheldon Lee.
Sheldon Lee, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Cincinnati.
All right, y'all.
And
Who
what are
else
you
is
doing?
up?
What are you doing out there in Cincinnati?
I'm just chilling at my local Cincinnati hotspot.
Awesome. Who else is on the line?
Darren Thomas.
Where are you calling from, Darren Thomas?
How are you?
I'm good. First time caller?
Long time listener.
All right. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Sherman Oaks.
All right.
It's
Yo, and I just want to give a shout out to all my peeps down at the Taft Theater and the Riverbend Music Theater and the down at Bogarts and down at Paul Brown Stadium and the Duke Energy Convention Center. Big ups.
All right.
And
Who
down at the
else?
Motor Pub.
Who else is on this party line?
Oh yeah, I'm here too. It's
Yeah.
Kirk.
Where are you calling from, sir?
I hate to say it, but this call is coming from inside the house.
Oh my God.
That's creepy. That's some creepy shit right there, yo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Darren hasn't been on for a while, so let Darren talk about the first book that he was excited to read about. And tell us
Welcome
about.
back, Darren.
Welcome
Hi.
back, Darren.
Hi guys.
Hi, Darren.
Well, which one should I start with? I'm going to talk about, I think, a book that almost no comic shops in California ordered, but
Okay.
they should have. I'm talking to you, Earth 2.
Ooh!
It's called, it's called Head Lopper, and I thought it was great. I don't know the creator's name. Maybe Sheldon. Maybe you remember.
Andrew McLean.
Andrew McLean. But it's a thick book.
What's like 90 pages long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 90 pages. There's not many words, but it really reminded me of Hellboy.
Yeah, me too.
Like back when Hellboy first started out, that sort of giddy, sort of macabre sense of humor that like Hellboy has. Just to like break it down, Head Lopper is a guy who goes around, it's killing things and
Lopping off heads.
lopping off heads, and then trying to make some money off of it. And he has this head that he carries around with him. That's like the head of some famous old witch or something, and she often like sort of chimes in while he's doing his adventures. But it's when I first was reading it, I'm like, okay, this is fun. And then like by the second chapter, I think it was something about wolves, when they started talking about the wolves and stuff, then there was like a sort of a deeper story starting to happen. And then I went, oh, this book is good. It's like, it's deceptively simple.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know, what'd you think, Sheldon?
Yeah, I'm with you. So initially I thought it was good because I read the little preview for it and I was like, this is kind of cool. You know, it stylistically it was kind of fantasy, you know, D&D kind of a thing. And I thought, man, okay, that's kind of cool. The more you read it and the more you start to notice there's a lot more going on, and then like you said, story-wise, it gets a little bit deeper and the lines get a little bit more, I guess, clean and a lot more stylized.
Yeah.
And it becomes a lot more like a Mike Mignola look and feel, even the colors and the way the page is set up, and a lot of the character sort of um, depictions are very much a Mike Mignola type, which is a very good thing.
You know what it actually reminded me of? I read some of this. It reminded me of Rumble and some of BBRP.
BPRD?
Yeah.
You mean? Nah, I could understand BPRD maybe a little, but I can't really understand Rumble at all.
Are you still reading
other than
Rumble?
the fact that the guy had a sword.
Are you still reading Rumble or no?
No, I stopped a while ago just because I grew disinterested.
Well, there you go. Maybe if you were reading it.
Well,
The art
No,
reminded me of
it has
of that
nothing.
special-
There's nothing like it as far as what's going on with it.
That's debatable.
No, it's not. There's nothing like it.
Simon, you didn't even read the whole book.
I
Yeah.
read 25 pages out of 94. I was just, I don't.
Yeah, but what we're talking about, like, there's literally literally after the first chapter, which is what I think you read.
I
Right.
think I'm almost at the end of the first chapter, The Witch's Head. Yeah,
Right.
and part one.
Right, but when it gets to the second chapter, like Sheldon was talking about, there's a huge tonal shift in the book.
Yeah, you almost think it's a different book almost.
So do you think this is the first 3 issues, and they just made it into a big, oversized?
Well,
kind
that's
of
what
like-
they did. They actually tell you that at the back of the book.
So it's kind of like Wolf. Images doing these oversized couple issues to get you.
Yeah, but unlike Wolf, I didn't get confused as it went on.
Yeah, they actually tell you flat out too that was always their plan. Or like they had always planned for this to be a much bigger thing, and that they wanted to do a 3-issue sort of rolled into one to make you wait for the next one, but it's big enough to keep you interested, and at the end of it you're like, oh wow, that totally makes me want to read more.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of this creator, and I was just I was like, I really want to see what this guy does next, because I thought the book was really good.
Yeah, it really was. It was really good.
So are you guys going to be on board? Even if
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all
Yeah.
giant 100 pages book?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Personally, I just want to chime in really quickly and say that this is something we're seeing a lot from Image recently in the last few months, like these overextended, little larger titles. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if Image has amassed like a big inventory of books in progress, and like maybe Eric Stevenson said to a lot of these guys, "Look, let's just have big first issues.
Why not?
Let's get this material out there."
Well, here's something interesting, guys. So I'm looking up, this book, right?
Uh-huh.
On Comixology. And on Comixology how you can click on the person's name and you can see what they worked on, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So apparently this came out in June and July of 2014 originally, and it wasn't through Image. There's 2 issues already on Comixology. And issue 1 was 36 pages, the other one was 59 pages.
Well, that's the book.
So I guess this is their kind of like, here's what we got. We self-publish, but now we're over at Image.
Yeah, then that's basically what happened. So they self-published, and then Image said, "Look, this is a good book. Let us give you more."
Good book.
Let's give you a bigger audience.
Yeah, let's put that little Image eye on there.
Yeah, and if Andrew McLean, if you're listening, we would love to do an interview with you. Actually,
Please,
Love
that'd be
it.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm really sort of fascinated by his choice in this, because it's definitely not like anything currently available. It's just different.
I'm really interested of the process, how he went from independent, complete independent, it looks like, to over at Image. I want to hear about that discussion. So if you're listening, Send us a little email.
I
We'll talk.
and I kind of stayed silent on this conversation because you guys just pretty much hit all the key points that I wanted to talk about on this comic. But one, I picked it up purely just for the name alone. I was like, Head Lopper, sold. But I wanted to reiterate what Sheldon said. It does have, when it starts off with that really cool D&D feel. I know this is going to sound weird, but I love a little brevity with my my Dungeons and Dragons and my questing.
I have no
And
idea
this-
what you're talking about, sir.
Oh well, yeah.
You don't know. Simon doesn't know what the word brevity means.
Yeah, he didn't understand brevity at all. And that made this book so enjoyable. I mean, it's so much fun when something like this kind of takes you by surprise, and that's the experience I got from it.
Yeah, it really was a nice sort of surprise, because I really did expect it just to be kind of light and cartoony, and then it turns really dark and a lot more deep.
Yeah.
He's a. I mean, it's not a small talent to have a book that looks simple but isn't. You know.
And you know what? Half of what makes it is the colors.
Yes. He's a real creative force. I would love to interview him. I think he's really going to be something.
And really quickly, here's some of the other cool things that I thought was great about the issue. It did come with a pinup gallery from other artists, and I just want to point out really quickly that, like some of the guys, like Trad Moore, who does Luther Strode, what is it? Johnson Cadwell, who does Tank Girl, and this is interesting. James Herron, who does BPRD and Abe Sapien.
Right.
Yeah.
This totally speaks to all those sensibilities and that crew of creatives, and I'm really glad that these guys stepped up to kind of do these pinups to help push the issue a little bit. So it kind of like immediately brings them into the fold of, if you're a fan of this stuff, this comic's right up your alley.
Well,
and I really love that support.
I know they won't be able to see it, but in our sort of side talkie section here on Skype,
Our Skype side talkie. Okay, go ahead.
Dropped into. I didn't put the one from, but I did put Mignola.
Yes.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Which is funny, because that means, like I said, Mignola obviously saw it and was like, "Oh, that's great. That's."
Well, but I mean, I guess I really want to say though that even though it really is influenced by Mignola, it really he has enough of his own sensibility that it doesn't feel like a ripoff.
And not at all.
No.
Exactly.
Not yeah. No. I don't. When I say it reminded me of Mignola, I mean that the hard shadows and the sort of coloring when things are dark, when obviously there's a bad guy or there's swamp or whatever. It's very green and very sort of ominous, and sort of the face of some of the people. You just get this sort of distinct feeling that it's like, oh, okay, that's obviously the bad guy, and it's very similar in that respect to a Mike Mignola sort of feel.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also, oh god, I'm gonna say it. It's so Highlander.
Oh, absolutely. No.
I'm sorry no one else said it before, but I'm like, someone say Highlander, someone say Highlander. When I was reading this, it felt like Highlander. I loved it.
No, and that was the other great thing. It was like, oh, kind of, I just got back from Scotland, so it kind of had that feel for me as well.
Right.
So no, I'm with you 100% on it. It was awesome.
Thank God.
He also did a book called Apocalyptic Girl for Dark Horse, and it's like 97 pages. I'm thinking about checking that out, because it sounds like it's worth taking a look at. It's also art by him, and could be worth taking a look at.
And while you guys are all Googling him, I'm stalking him on Twitter, and I will let him know that we are gushing about him. All right.
I'm stalking him on Facebook. So there you go.
And I am stalking him on Tumblr. So
this is stalking done right, guys. If you want to seriously troll and lurk someone on the internet, bring your friends in. This is how to do it.
No. If you need to stalk someone,
yeah, because guys, I got the wet dream part covered.
Oh God!
Excellent. He'll be happy to hear this.
Yeah.
If anyone needs anyone to stalk someone, please contact Comic Impact. We're pretty good at that.
We're your guys.
We're there for your stalking needs.
Yeah.
He's also on DeviantArt.
Apparently, he graduated with a music degree. So now I really want to talk to him. No, that's not a joke.
He's also currently sitting on his couch.
Oh, whoa, guys! I just cracked his email. I figured out his email. All right.
Right, we're in.
Oh my
All right.
god.
All right.
He's in the house.
Told you.
Currently, he also has T-shirts and whatnot for sale on andrewmclean.storeenvy.com. And actually, a lot of the T-shirts are really cool. And one of them, which is sold out, unfortunately, is a Head Lopper one with wolves on it.
Oh, come on!
A wolf shirt.
Okay, once I show you the shirt, you're going to be even sadder. I'm going to put it over in the same thing. It's a link for it.
I'm looking right now.
So check out that link. There it is. It should
Oh
actually...
my god!
I know.
Oh my god! I have to have this shirt.
It's currently sold out, but maybe if we talk to him real nice.
We got to get a couple more of these. Okay.
You know he's got like a house full of these shirts.
Oh, of course he does. You know he's gonna go back and make some reprints of this, but he's definitely got some really cool. He's got some cool stuff on here, man. He's got.
I like that Russian type font.
Guys, I'm in the house right now. I just found the shirts. I'll be right there.
All right, cool.
Sweet.
Size large, sir.
I'm Head Lopper.
I think
I'm Head Lopper.
I think Comic Impact just found their new favorite guy.
Yeah.
Part of me is tempted to email him once this show goes up, but then
Part of Simon is tempted to read the rest of the comic.
Right? Yeah. Since we talked about it so much, now Simon's interested in reading the rest of the book.
all right.
That's the whole point of the show, though. That's what we do.
Exactly.
That's what we do, son.
Yeah.
Talk it up so much that we make you want to read the rest of the book.
Or if you haven't even read a page, be
like Simon.
No, I read, what was it, 24 pages?
I've read a page. Let's not get crazy.
But, we want to inspire you to read comics that you would not read on a regular basis.
I already follow him on Tumblr, but if you guys don't, just FYI, there's his Tumblr. I sent him a friend request.
Oh my god.
It might be approved by the end of the show. If it does, I will let you guys know.
Sheldon has already sent all of us a picture of him with the author. That's how quickly we move.
Well, I mean, he doesn't know it, but I stood outside of his window. You could see him. Well, you could see the back of his head, but that's fine.
That's cool.
I just had my 9-year-old son do a sketch of the author, and I'm going to be scanning that and putting that up on the internet too.
Very nice.
We cover all the bases. So Head Lopper, all the love this week, guys. Go find it. I know not a lot of shops carried it, but
do you think it's because of the price tag?
You know what? Yeah. I think it's mainly because of some people. I mean, $6 for that thing was, I thought, a deal. But I think a lot of people just kind of took a cautionary glance at it and went, Head Lopper, these lines are too clean.
Well, I'm wondering if the solicitation for it showed artwork. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if comic shops were able to see what the inside of the book looked like.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe they also didn't want to take a chance on something that's already been self-published and getting reprinted.
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance.
So, that was Head Lopper, guys.
Who's next?
I'm Head Lopper. I'm Head Lopper.
All right.
Wait, who just went and who's next?
Darren
just kind of just went with Head Lopper, really. I mean, so I kind of blew my wad with Head Lopper.
Well, didn't Darren start talking about it?
It was me. It was me. I felt like it was Sheldon and myself. Like,
yeah, it was like a joint operation.
Right.
I felt like we were together.
Yeah, we were.
All right. Well, I want to talk about, and I'm going to get some shit for this. I think some people are going to back me up. I want to talk about Batman 44.
Nope.
Yes.
Not reading it.
You see that right away.
It is. No, go ahead, Kirk. This is yours. Go.
First of all, I thought it was almost a perfect self-contained Batman story.
What?
Yeah, it was almost a perfect self-contained Batman story.
Is it still Snyder Capullo?
Tell it on the mountain.
Let's talk about this. This is Snyder and Azzarello working on the story.
What?
And the art by Jock. And it is not a Jim Gordon Batman story. They
Wait,
took
is
a
this
break.
Batman proper?
This is Batman proper.
Mm-hmm.
So no
This is Batman
Snyder?
Bruce Wayne.
And it was still not good, Simon, even with Jacques doing the artwork.
Jock,
Yeah,
not
that's-
Jock.
Dude, Sheldon, you're crazy. It was a great
Because
issue.
there's nothing about Jock's art that totally exudes the fact that he loves drawing the Batman world. There was nothing about that. Of course not.
It
No,
looked a little rushed, even
it
for
was-
Jacques.
No way, dude.
No, it looked beautiful.
No.
Loved it.
You're on crack, dude. You're on crack.
No, I've seen good Jacques stuff, and that looked a little bit rushed.
No, it seemed very kinetic.
Yeah.
It to be
No.
like.
All right, let me look at this. Jock is one of my top 5 artists of all time.
I
so
know, I know he is. That's what I'm saying. I've seen good stuff, and I've seen other stuff from
You
him,
guys
and
talk.
that's
I will look through
the
this.
other category.
Kirk, you keep going.
Okay, and I like the fact that Jock kind of went out on a limb and went outside of his normal comfort zone in his regular art style. There's some really cool manga influence happening in some of the panels.
Mm-hmm.
I also
The hell
really
is that?
like the fact that it wasn't necessarily.
Simon, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that it's not all action sequences. It's actually a very coherent, fact-gathering mystery told in a really great sequential way, and the choices that the panels were done by Jock, I can only imagine. I want to see the back and forth between Snyder, Azzarello, and Jock, and how they decided to meticulously plan out this issue.
Didn't you love how they used the newspaper clippings?
Oh yeah, just to kind of like fill you in. Like instead of using the panel spaces in between each piece, they use newspaper clippings to kind of fill you in and connect some of the clues that pertain to the rest of the story. Like as far as like certain headlines and why certain parts of Gotham got sold out to like. I know this word gets used all the time, but they actually kind of talk about the gentrification element and movement that happens so much in cities and more less fortunate parts of town, and how it was so cool.
Yeah.
All right, can I give my verdict into this?
Go for
For me
it.
to poop on.
All right, it's not horrible Jock artwork.
Oh God.
It's the colors that are really weird, and I actually think it's too warty. So therefore,
No.
well,
No.
Dude,
hold
I'm
on.
sorry. I gotta
Hold
call.
Hold on. I'm talking about looking just at the art, okay? And I feel like the art's getting lost in the word. And the page I went, what the fuck was that? 2 seconds ago, is one of the last pages where it was literally all Photoshop newspaper stuff over and over, and then you lose complete Jock artwork. I don't think this is beautiful Jock artwork.
I totally
No.
disagree. I think
It's not.
the use of colors. I think the placement of the words.
It's lazy.
Everything about it was very thought out.
Whoever the letterist is on this book did a
It was a
horrible
good
job.
comic. It was good comic storytelling.
Yes.
It might not have been neat, but it hit. And let me tell you something, Kirk. I fucking cried when I finished this issue.
Did
I
you?
just
Did
think
you get
this
Kleenex
thing-
and blow your nose?
Hey, you can make all the jokes you want about it. This thing flowed perfectly, so that when you get to the final end and the reveal, yeah, it gut punches you, dude.
It's basically like Batman's answer to the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, it's an important comic. They're gonna be reprinting this comic in Batman anthologies for years.
And
No,
this is the
that
part
is
that
not
I'm.
true.
Whoa!
That is
This
not
is the
true.
part I'm dancing around, but it does touch on very intelligently a lot of current issues, and
Yes.
definitely stakes. These guys definitely put their name out there and put their opinion out there, and I really commend them for it. I really do.
And I was having problems with Batman for a while because I basically think Batman's trying to fix society by punching people. And to me, this comic was like an answer to that. It was
Yeah.
this was a point where Batman fully admitted that he totally fucking failed.
And it's
That
because
he failed this kid.
And
That
it's-
everybody failed this kid.
yeah, and then on top of that, you find out that it's because of what his Bruce Wayne side did.
Yeah.
Like, you can't throw money at a problem and just automatically assume that that's going to be the answer that's going to make everyone happy. Like, his intentions were in the right place.
Yeah, his intentions were to rejuvenate the neighborhood, but then he gentrified the neighborhood. And unintentionally destroyed this mom and pop store that had been there for 20 years. It's an important issue.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about that. It's kind of like it's a one-off.
It is an important issue. It is a seminal Batman story.
I promise you, it will be completely forgotten in the next issue when Snyder and Capullo come back on.
I disagree. It even is tangentially connected to the current Capullo Snyder storyline.
It involves Mr. Bloom, and we start to see how Bloom is taking advantage of the situation that has been brought up that this comic talks about.
I guarantee you, though, it will not be that big a deal. I think that it's just a one-off. It's because they either were not available or they knew they were going to take a break and they needed a second to catch up, and that was it.
And maybe that's true, but in the way they did it, they maximized their opportunity.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. Time will tell, my friend. That's all I can say. Time will tell.
Just like Electric Boogaloo 2.
Yeah, I still remember that.
Yeah.
They saved the community center.
I picked that stupid joke for a reason. I really did thoroughly enjoy this. Now, I'm going to go back and forth because I do have an opinion on it as far as when you talk about the timing of it. Every other single Bat Family comic this week was a bunch of bullshit because you can tell that the higher-ups at DC Editorial were like, well, you have to get into Jim Gordon Batman and all the stories and all the other Bat Family titles, and that was a bunch of bullshit.
The fact that you have to say that means it's not a great issue.
No, I mean, I think it's frustrating enough that these guys are getting carte blanche or whatever they can do whatever they want with this series.
Blanche.
Who the fuck is typing?
Sheldon is.
He's just typing furiously.
It's like you're hitting a fucking old typewriter.
Tip.
And I think
it's like naked lunch.
And it is kind of frustrating that this title came out just they could do whatever they want, but you can see that a lot of the other creative teams are being stifled by having to push the Jim Gordon Batman character in all their respective series. Because if you were waiting to get back to a Bruce Wayne Batman story and you knew that you were going to have to wait it out for a little bit until the Super Heavy story was over, you were kind of going over to other Bat Family titles to get that flavor that you were missing. And then it's just like they took the Jim Gordon Batman and just shoehorned it into everyone's other stories. So it was nice to have a reprieve and have the Bruce Wayne Batman story proper back, but it's also really frustrating to see all these other stories that the other creative teams are trying to do in the rest of the Bat Family titles being disrupted, and then this title not necessarily following suit. So it definitely stands alone as a great standalone issue as far as what is currently going on in the Bat Family titles, but the timing is really bad.
It's okay. It's not going to matter in 6 months. Everything's going to get rebooted.
I know, but...
Is that a joke, or is that something you found out?
No, he doesn't know.
I know something. I'm not allowed to tell.
No, you don't know anything about what's going on over DC's Simon.
With the Bat book, I know something.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you really don't.
All right. Well, it helps when you're friends with someone.
Are you friends with Zach? Are you friends with Scott Snyder?
No, but someone else.
Okay, then you don't.
That you know also.
Oh, Dan? You're friends with Dan, huh?
Hey, Sheldon. Me and your mom share a birthday.
Yeah.
Then
you're
the
not
deal
friends
out.
with Dan. So
No.
I'm just gonna say.
I'll tell you off air.
You don't know.
I knew about Bat Bunny about a year ago. So who's up?
You.
Lots of people knew about Bat Bunny a year ago because it was announced a year ago.
All right.
No, totally. But I don't like how it's affected one way or the other every other single Bat title being put out right now.
So,
Like they were able to even work it into Batman Beyond. I don't know how they were able to do that. I'll wait until the next issue before I start pitching. But like We Are Robin got disrupted by it. Even though it's lackluster, the Jason Todd series, Arsenal and Red Hood, they had to work in Jim Gordon. It's just.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's just kind of like, can you let these creators tell their stories with like these characters the way they should? No. Jim Gordon with the Mecha Bunny suit. That's cool. Put it in every single fucking title.
Because you gotta sell action figures and you gotta make it appeal to the manga crowd.
You just learned what manga was like 5 minutes ago.
I used to read a couple of mangas.
Sure
you just learned that word. and in another 10 minutes, and in another 10 minutes, he's going to work brevity into the conversation. You just watch. Next title.
I think.
By Batman 44. Next title.
But let's tell Simon that brevity means something different than it actually.
Okay.
Does. Like
it's what a medium beverage at Starbucks is, Simon.
Oh, I know.
So next time you go to a Starbucks, you just order a brevity, and they'll actually hand you a medium macchiato.
Dude, it's actually a way of making bread.
Anyway.
Yes. So tell somebody you want to make brevity, and they'll understand.
There's very little yeast involved.
So just a lot of brevity.
Yeah.
It's a scientific term trying to describe what you would find that's not necessarily gravity and other elements in the universe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who's up?
He's just like, fuck you, next comic.
Yeah.
Simon, you're up. You are the next person up.
Are we already doing the pick?
Yeah, I think we're there. Are we there? Are we not?
No, I feel like, Sheldon, you have a complete book that you want to mention.
I talked about it. It was Head Lopper.
That was Darren's book.
No, that was my book.
Wow. We're being that lazy? We're double teaming books this week?
Yes. That's not lazy. That's sexy.
And P.S., I called Head Lopper.
All right.
Yeah, but you made me go first.
No, Simon was supposed to go first.
No.
Remember, he chickened out.
Because I have the pick. I go last.
All right.
Okay, well, why don't we just keep talking shop?
Do you want me to?
People hope for a podcast.
I tell you what, then I'll choose one more book. How about that?
That's
Thanks.
good. I like that.
Oh my God, it's like sitting in a knitting circle. Let's see. Of the books that I did, I will.
You did books? Wow, that's kinky.
Yeah, I know. There was a couple really good ones. What was? You know what? I'm gonna go with Planet Hulk. I'm gonna go with the mainstream.
Yes.
I'm gonna end it with Planet Hulk, and this was an awesome ending to a really actually a pleasing book because it didn't end with a happy ending.
No.
And I'm sort of seeing that that's kind of been the sort of par for course with these Secret War books. They're not happy endings. Yeah, it's Sam Humphries. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, and yet
Spoil it.
yeah, I know. We always kind of start talking about not spoiling it, but
Spoil.
so our Steve Rogers gets to the end. He talks to the guy who's the head of the kingdom of the Red Hulk, and he says, "Where's Bucky?" Finds out he killed Bucky. He actually has his arm as a souvenir.
Wait, who killed Buck?
That panel, by the way, hit me really hard. Steve holding the way they did Steve holding Bucky's cybernetic arm.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
I mean, and that sounds like a spoiler, but you don't really understand until you actually see how they drew it, and that's going to be the treat for readers that pick up this title.
Yeah. So so that's one cool part, and the other cool part is what you start to learn is Dr. Green in this is not necessarily Bruce Banner.
No, it's not.
And what you start to learn is that it is actually another version of Steve. It
Mm-hmm.
is just another Steve Rogers who, instead of taking the super soldier serum and just becoming, muscular and just, hyperkinetic and everything, he turned into a gamma radiated Hulk. And um, the argument he said was that, that he said that the Steve Rogers that we had been following, who was with Devil Dinosaur and was out to find Bucky, was weak because he cared about Bucky. But the other Professor Green, the Hulk version, said that he wasn't weak because his Bucky died a long time ago, and
Right.
that's what made him strong. And Steve says, "No, you're wrong. That's what made me powerful. That's what makes me brave, because I can do things that you couldn't do." And he keeps calling him out, saying, "No, you're weak. You're weak. You can't do anything. You can't do anything." So finally, it kind of cuts away, and the other Steve had already sort of revealed himself by shrinking down into the smaller, sort of weak Steve Rogers, and kind of saying, "I am you, so I do know what you went through." And Steve not only kills Red Hulk to end his kingdom, but he also, in cold blood, kills the other Steve Rogers,
Right.
and says, and just kind of walks off. And that is kind of the end of that issue. And you're like, whoa, that's Steve means
Whoa,
business.
apparently Gracie's getting passionate about it.
Damn.
Damn,
Cat nailed
Gracie.
it.
I know.
This was easily one of the best endings to a lot of the Secret Wars titles they're starting to wrap up. This one
Yeah.
really surprised me. I agree with you on all points on this thing. It was so cool that at the end, this title doesn't just become, because we've been making all the comparisons about it's like a Conan the Barbarian, He-Man, post-apocalyptic Captain America story, and how great is that element. And when we get to the end, we actually find out it's a character study of Steve Rogers and showing the duality of the character.
Right.
And that kind of hit me upside the head when this title wrapped up.
Yeah, because it really, at the end of the day, it wasn't really about Hulk. Planet
No.
Hulk had nothing to do really with Hulk.
Isn't that amazing? It's a Steve Rogers story through and through.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the person that's going to pick up this trade one day just on Amazon, being like, "Hey, I like Hulk."
Well, but you know what? They'll get their fill of Hulk because there's plenty of Hulks in there.
So much Hulk.
Yeah, but they're gonna learn a lot about Steve Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
And
So is Secret Wars over or not yet?
They have about another. I mean, from what I read today, they're going to start releasing the new comics next month.
Right, and this is going to be interesting because they are starting to wrap up a lot of the Secret Wars titles. We are starting to wrap up the last days of. We are
Right.
going to start seeing some of the titles. Like I know A-Force is going to continue on with the same team, same creative team, I should say, and
Right.
it's going to be an ongoing. But they also announced that they're adding a ninth Secret Wars title.
Yeah.
I guess they're not going to be able to wrap up the main series in 8 like they originally planned on.
Well, we talked about that last week, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of getting everyone up to speed. It's going to be a little weird because they are going to start releasing the 8 months later new Marvel initiative.
But which is fine because that's 8 months later, and we don't really know how they got to that point because it's 8 months later. So it's okay if it's a little bit behind in that essence. So they probably built that in there just for that, like just in case.
So it's kind of easy for everyone else to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that with was it Fear Itself? There was one that was scheduled for something, and then they had to go a little bit more.
No, they didn't. They were okay with that.
There's one miniseries.
I don't think so. I think they were fine with everything they've done so far.
They aren't?
Yeah, I think they're all right.
No, it wasn't Fear Itself.
But there was one of them, right, in the past maybe 6-7 years?
where they had to add an extra issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're right, but I just can't think of it right now.
Huh.
So if we're totally wrong, in the comments down below, please tell us that we are wrong. And
Yeah.
let us know what series it is.
Yeah.
There's no video this week because AT&T sucks.
I do remember DC Comics putting out 1 year later titles before all the miniseries were done.
That I do remember.
Like Final Crisis and stuff.
Well, that's DC. They pull some crazy shenanigans over there.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I can think of that might sort of fit what he's talking about.
But yeah, no, I mean, so far it's been, and I know I've been seeing, or at least today I saw a lot on a bunch of different blog sites sort of advertising, Marvel and Marvel, all new Marvel now and all new, what's going to happen, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the solicitations have started rolling out. Also, the other thing was with the new initiative, Marvel Now, a lot of DC titles getting the hack.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
There's something, but dude, there's something like 60 new Marvel titles.
Yeah, they're going big. They're going big right out the gate.
Yeah, 60 new Marvel titles. 45 of them are brand new.
Right.
All right.
I know. Everyone's like, well, what's next? Who knows? We'll find out in a couple of months.
Yeah, and that's just, they said that is just what they've announced. They still have not announced a lot, they said, so.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will buy number ones.
Well, that's how you get new readers. I know that there's a huge argument for it, and it sort of says like the continuity's getting thrown out, but from their perspective, I see how it is. And I kind of agree to a certain extent. As long as you can talk about certain characters or certain titles, like I'm always going to talk about She-Hulk, as I really loved either the Peter David or the Charles Soule runs.
Yeah, but and incidentally, I mean, before Simon starts getting into the pick, I do want to say that Civil War was another great title.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah,
and it's also coming to an end with the next issue, I believe, and it is pretty fantastic. And that's also one that I really, really enjoyed. It was not in my top 5, but it almost was. I just enjoyed the other one so much that I wanted to put all of, if I had more room for if top 5 also included a point issues, that would be one.
Absolutely. There was a lot of good stuff released this week. I had a hard time narrowing it down.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Civil War.
But no, Civil War, and because it had a surprising twist in it.
Yeah.
I would like, I haven't said like a second issue.
We're only doing one book apiece tonight.
And we don't. Oh, well, I do want to. This is kind of important. It'll only take a moment.
Okay.
I'm wondering where he's going with this.
Okay. Wicked and Divine came out this week.
Yes.
And Kirk, I need to say something to you.
Oh no.
Not as good as Photograph.
No.
Oh, trust me. While you were gone in England, we give him the lecture about that.
No. What I'm going to say is my criticism of Wicked and Divine is that in single issues it doesn't work, and I still hold that belief. But I would say I read all the issues over again because of your passion for the book. And I would have to say, it's an amazing fucking book. It's an amazing book, and I just wanted you to know that, Kirk, and I wanted you to know that I listened to you, and that I went back and I read it again, and it's a wonderful book.
You guys are friends.
I really appreciate that.
Kirk, I want you to know just the exact opposite.
I have the first PDF on my iPad.
Talk about a passionate comic book, Sheldon's just gonna be like, nah, if Kirk suggested it, fuck that.
No, it's the exact opposite of what he said.
Right.
Because fuck you. That's why.
All right. Fair enough.
I actually did read it, and they did themselves a disservice by putting the same book out on the same week, and I was like, wow, this just absolutely solidifies the fact that this sucks comparatively.
Well, at least
So-
Sheldon's honest about his feelings.
Well, I'm not gonna
Well,
sugarcoat it.
I think it's a tougher book to immediately like. I mean, I would definitely would agree with that. But I don't know. It's a good book. It's a good book. It's got a lot to say.
Unfortunately, it's a mute. Oh.
Oh. Anyway,
To all-
Kirk, I just
To all
wanted.
mute people listening to this show, Sheldon's feelings do not reflect those of Comic Impact as an entirety, and they're just his opinions alone.
And you
We
can send him
apologize for
a
that.
hate mail at sheldon@comicimpact.com,
Oh,
or
no,
you can
no,
call
no.
him at 800 Sheldon Hates the Mutes.
Oh, did you hear that? Simon wants them to call me.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
Simon.
Oh, I know exactly what I was saying.
Oh, that is messed up, Simon. That
Go
is-
ahead, call me and try to talk some shit. Oh, you can't, can you?
Oh, Jesus. That is unfair. That is
Oh.
That is not okay, man.
God, I'm going to hell. All right.
Oh, I knew I was going a long time ago.
I can't believe you said that to call me.
Oh, wow. We should talk about the pick now before we start taking this grave even deeper.
Yeah, before Simon
Yeah.
starts offending deaf people.
Don't worry, they couldn't hear that. What was the pick this week?
Oh!
Ooh. No bueno. The pick is not a surprise. I've been waiting for this book for a while.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, you shut
Yeah.
your mouth. That comes out next week. Thank you, Grace. So, it's a book from Greg Rucka. It's from Marvel Comics. It's literally what I thought Star Wars Aftermath was going to be.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Talk about it.
I'm
Go
building
for it,
that up
Chief.
right now. Shattered Empire. I keep wanting to
You
say
can't even-
Shadow of the Empire. I
He
keep wanting
can't even speak.
Whatever. Look, this is why I love this. It literally felt like it was the last, like an extra 10 minutes, maybe 15 of Return of the Jedi. It opens at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Right.
And that's what I love about it. And also, Sheldon kind of ruined this book for me because Sheldon's a master at that, people. Sheldon
No,
will
I'm not. That's you.
Sheldon will send you texts or screenshots of shit and be like, hey, is this what it is? So pretty much we're introduced to a young, I think she's an A-Wing pilot. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, an A-Wing pilot that was on the Battle of Endor, and she's looking for her man. Her man's last name is, Sheldon, how do you pronounce it? Because you're probably going to say I pronounced it wrong. It's Danaran.
Dameron.
Right? She's looking for that pilot. She's looking for, I don't remember, are they a couple, are they like married, or are they just messing around? Are they just a couple right now?
We don't know yet. They don't specify.
Okay. But here's the beautiful thing about that. That last name might not be common right now. You might be like, what's the big deal about that? Well, after December 18, when you see Oscar Isaac play Poe Danaran, you'll realize, holy shit, I just got introduced to his parents. Without going into spoilers for The Force Awakens, what's been known, Poe's a big part of the new Rebel Alliance, Resistance, whatever the fuck they're calling themselves right
Oh
now.
wow, Simon, way to spoil things.
I think it's still the New Republic, dude, but keep going.
It's not the New Republic.
All right.
And he's trusted as one of the best X-Wing pilots around in this Force Awakens upcoming movie. And we understand why Han, Leia, Luke, whoever's in charge, Mama, Lando Calrissian, hopefully,
My mama?
Mama, trust this guy because we were introduced to his parents, and we know his parents were amazing pilots. And what's great is we literally see the origin of someone I'm really excited about to meet as a character.
Simon, we don't literally know if we're seeing the origin of them.
Okay, basically.
They're fucking, dude. They had sex.
Yeah. Oh, really? So every time someone has sex, they literally get to see the origin of somebody?
Whatever.
That's how that works? They literally get to see the origin of somebody every time somebody has sex. So every time that Kirk's parents had sex, they literally were having the origin of Kirk.
I think they only had it once, dude. Honestly.
This month. Literally. Is that a new word for you?
You didn't know my parents. I think it only happened once.
His mom lives down the street from me, which is awkward, by the way.
It's awkward for you to bring that up, is what it's awkward.
Hey, dude, you just watch yourself around my mom, okay?
Sorry.
Yeah, don't get too close. You could literally be having the origin of someone.
Whatever.
I think we should literally make the origin of someone tonight.
I knew I was going to get shit from you guys.
Well, when you use the word literally 100 times, that, yes, you will. You will literally get shit from us. Possibly thrown at you.
I'm gonna agree. I think Shattered Empire was pretty good.
Shattered? You shattered?
Shattered Empire.
Okay.
I'm got a boner over it
Ew,
for
weird.
different reasons that let me keep it weird. I really like this.
Yeah, you're weird, dude.
I'm in like with this comic for different reasons that Simon is. I'm really enjoying
But it gave you a boner.
Yeah, I like the book. I didn't have sexual erection over the book.
Well, hold on one second, because I'm having a hard time opening the pages that I wanted to see. Oh, there it is. They got stuck.
Oh.
Is it because you got your brevity all over it?
And I'm really enjoying the expansion of the new expanded universe, the new legends that they're starting to build. I enjoyed it for that. I didn't necessarily enjoy it for the softcore porn that Simon did.
No, that's not the softcore porn I like. Trust me.
But
I like my porn hard and triple X.
Okay, so I am excited.
So you like it with Vin Diesel?
Oh.
That's weird. Literally
weird.
Literally.
Okay.
Okay.
all joking aside, this is a really good new direction as far as like the new canon is concerned. That's why I thought it was good. I don't know if we saw the literal creation of Poe, but
whatever.
Oh.
We are laughing,
but it was a good issue. It was definitely a great start. I like Rucka writing Star Wars. Personally, I think there's been some better first issues for some of the other Star Wars series that Marvel have put out.
Is that because you're more familiar with those mainstream characters, you think?
No, like I said, I'm having more fun with the recreation of the new extended universe. I mean, I still think the Lando series is the best one right now because I don't know anything about Lando or Lobot or his history or past. That's right. I mean, that's
Lando is the best Star Wars book out there. That's for sure.
Surprisingly, yes, it really is.
And Rucka actually nailed Lando's voice also. Like I was talking to Sheldon about this on the phone. I feel like Lando is the character that every writer is getting right away.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's that's really really weird. Like Simon and I were talking about this, that the ones we feel like Lando and Luke, they really nailed, the ones they're having sort of
Well,
an
Luke's kind
issue
of
with.
easy. Just make him whiny and be like, "Gee whiz, I wonder what Ben would do."
Yeah, you have to make him either whiny for his younger self, or make him a little bit more stoic for his older self.
Hmm.
And then, but the ones they're having trouble with are Leia and Han, which are weird.
Well, the Leia book is just chemo needle bad.
Yeah, but like the Han stuff, like I don't understand why they're having an issue with Han, because even in the Shattered Empire book, the stuff that Han was saying seemed a little off and weird.
Right? Okay. I think the only reason Han works for me in any of the titles is because the artists are really nailing his.
Right. The
his-
artwork makes
but it's not the dialogue. The dialogue is
No.
not working with Han.
Right. No, not at all. So I don't understand why that's so off.
You know what's weird also is we've got a Lando book, we got a Chewbacca book coming out, we got a 3PO book, we got a Leia book. We kind of have a Luke book if you want to consider the main Star Wars book.
Right.
Yeah.
We have 2 Vader books, right? But no Han Solo book.
Yet.
Well, do you think that's because they're trying to sort of save it for the younger sort of film? Because I mean, that's obviously coming. We know that there's going to be
Right, but
Han
I would
Solo.
like to know what happens to Han between Jedi
Oh, sure.
and that.
Well, and you know they're not going to show us, because that's going to be part of the film. I mean, that's going to be that can't be revealed yet until maybe after the film is sort of revealed.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you on that one, but it's probably true because I mean, obviously, it's just there is a master plan, and there's very specific things they're only going to talk about or release or leak or build on. And if we're asking the question, where is the Han book? There's probably a reason why they're holding back on it.
Well, what's also
Yeah.
very interesting in a different subject is there's a lot of Chewbacca merchandise, no Han Solo merchandise.
Oh, I've kind of noticed that.
Oh. Sheldon, would you like to share with the class what you just typed?
No, I would not. That's a private thing that I only share with you guys.
We're basically talking shit to each other in the
When do we not?
I actually haven't. I haven't gone to a Target or anything like that to really see any merchandise out yet.
Because there is none. It's all sold out.
Well, yeah, you know what's weird about that is, like, I haven't bought anything yet.
Yet. He said.
Yet.
Well, because I don't want to throw my hat in the ring yet, because I haven't seen anything. That's like investing in something that I know nothing about yet.
That's because you're going to get like the $500 statue.
Yeah, he's going to buy the humongous Kylo Ren.
No, it's because I've been burned by the Phantom Menace and like, going out and buying all that crap immediately, and then being like, oh, it's gonna be so good, everybody get on board, and then being like, oh, son of a bitch, it was awful. So I'm not gonna get burned again. I'm going to wait, see the product first, and then go, okay, that was awesome. Now I will purchase a few things.
You know what?
But by then you won't be able to get it.
Yeah, I will.
You can't even get it now.
Dude, you can always get that shit. I mean, like, I might buy the BB-8 little droid thing, but that's it. Only thing that I kind of like.
I
Just
definitely
saying that
already ordered that thing. Yeah.
That's going to be here on Wednesday.
I can't wait to annoy my dog with that.
Oh, me too. I can't wait to have the Pug meets BB-8.
It's gonna be great. But I'm holding back on buying a bunch of the merch too. I'm definitely caught up in the excitement. I'm reading Aftermath right now. I'm reading all the Star Wars comics. I am trying to get my fill of the new extended universe that they're building. I definitely want all of that. But as far as, believe it or not, you know who had all the merch yesterday? I was at Disneyland.
Oh, well, of course they would.
And someone bought a Phasma action figure, and not 5 minutes later did they come out and put another one back in its place.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, they're stocked up.
Those guys. I mean, also someone told me if you go hit the Disney stores in the mall, they're pretty.
The Disney stores are completely sold out on everything.
Yeah, the Disney stores Disney is playing it a little bit just Marvel with Star Wars now, and they're starting to stock up their stores are going to start a lot.
Whoa, he sounds really choppy there.
I
lost him.
That Disney's playing Star Wars closer to their chest, and definitely is going to make Star Wars more of an. They'll make their Disney stores make Disney the outlet to get the Star Wars stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, I think that's what's going to end up happening. By the way, I will say, read if you're reading or listening to any of the books. Stop reading the Force, the new Force book.
Which one?
The new one. Whatever one that's called. The Shattered Awakening, whatever that.
Aftermath, you mean? Sheldon?
Hold on, do you mean the book Aftermath?
Yeah.
I just started it, and I'm
enjoying it. There's big stuff that happens. I'm telling you.
Read Star Wars Smuggler's Run.
Read Aftermath.
Nope. Read Star Wars Smuggler's Run by Greg Rucka. It is awesome.
Wait, is that part of the new stuff?
It is. It takes place between 4 and Empire.
Okay.
But the very beginning of it takes place sometime right before Episode 7.
Okay. So I need to get up on that. I'm enjoying Aftermath for different reasons. I'm cheating. I use an Audible account credit for it.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it's fucking.
I do.
It is fucking awesome in on Audacity, because they do it more as one of the old radio shows.
All the Star Wars books are like that, though.
Yeah. Oh, dude, then I want them all. I love it.
That's what Simon and I have been doing, is we've been listening to them like that, because they're all radio shows essentially.
Yeah. I mean, they got the effects, and they got the laser blaster, and I mean, shit, man. When you press play and the book starts, it's the Star Wars suite opening up, and right away you've got the scroll going on in your head. I love it.
All right, kids.
Yep.
I freaked out. Sorry.
Hey, what about Smuggler's Blues by Glenn Fry?
No, that's something else. That's something else.
All right.
All right. Okay.
No, that's sadly that is what is left of the Eagles.
Not the fucking Eagles, man.
Yeah, it's the Eagles, man. It's the fucking Eagles.
Had a day.
All right, we're done here.
Well, I did just resort to Lebowski quote, so I think we did talk about comics today.
Go like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube, and stuff's happening.
Okay. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to us talk shit to each other all day.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
Good times.
Literally.
And remember, if you need someone to stalk, contact Comic Impact.
That's what we're here for. And if we got the definition of brevity wrong, in the comments down below, please explain what brevity is.
Yes. What is your definition of brevity?
What is your definition of brevity?
Does it involve bread?
Brevity is the soul of wit.
No.
Okay, we're done.
Brevity is something that you give to Hellboy.